Tonight on Cronkite News, President Biden said in his State of the Union address that more at-home COVID tests may be on the way, but help is needed to get those tests to more rural areas.
Plus, a new health education program aims to reach underserved communities in South Phoenix. We'll give you the details about how volunteers are helping Phoenix's vulnerable populations.
And later, could we be seeing more solar panels in the future? Learn how a new push to address the climate could increase the use of solar energy in Arizona.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Raven Payne.
And I'm Nick Shesky. Thank you for joining us.
During the State of the Union address, President Joe Biden announced another round of free at-home COVID tests. But across the country, some have had problems getting their first test. The issue is more pronounced in rural and tribal communities. Cronkite News reporter Anna Stansfield tells us why one Arizona congressman is asking for immediate action from the White House COVID-19 response team.
When free tests first started getting mailed out, Congressman Tom O'Halloran sent a letter to White House COVID response coordinator Jeffrey Zients, pleading for the Biden administration to find a better way to get test kits to rural and tribal communities.
Rural America is not set up the same way as urban areas are, and tribal areas are definitely not set up that way. Multiple families living in one location, no delivery service, drugstores maybe 10 miles away, maybe 50 miles away.
Native American families also share P.O. boxes with extended family members, meaning dozens of people could share the same address. O'Halloran says in situations like these, 4 tests aren't enough. And if these communities can't get tests through the mail, there aren't many other options.
It's not like there's a lab around the corner. The lab is 60, 70, 80 miles away. And you have to find a way to get there in the first place. Not everybody has cars.
Congressman O'Halloran said he has yet to hear back from the White House. In the meantime, the White House COVID response coordinator has praised the test delivery program, noting that millions of tests have been shipped in an unprecedented effort.
President Biden is looking for more than $30 billion for assistance related to Ukraine and the COVID-19 pandemic. The Biden administration wants $10 billion to help protect Ukraine from Russia. That's a significant increase from the $1.4 billion given to Ukraine by the U.S. since last year. The Biden administration also wants $22.5 billion for costs related to COVID. These are both new additions to budget talks that have already been happening.
A group of Hispanic women joined forces to help their community improve their health. Cronkite News reporter Reina Preciado tells us about the group called Promotoras de Salud and the work they're doing.
No somos doctoras.
We are not doctors, we are not nurses, but we are informed. We come here, take courses, give classes, and acquire knowledge.
Carmen Guzman volunteers for Promotoras de Salud. This group is part of Unlimited Potential, a nonprofit organization that promotes a healthy lifestyle in the South Phoenix community.
Hacemos ferias de salud.
We do health fairs in the community and we give people information. We take their blood pressure and explain what is the function of the heart and what are the numbers.
Promotoras de Salud offers several classes focusing on empowering the underserved communities in South Phoenix. Esther Villa from Unlimited Potential says their work does more than educate for Latino families.
The person found someone, they need information about one disease. This person just have the information ready, the education, and they can help to this with the information with the education. And we can that the connection to the other people.
People within this South Phoenix community can travel less than 2 minutes to receive an education on how to advocate for their rights, as well as how to care for someone with a chronic illness.
Hispanics make up over 42% of the Phoenix population. The Arizona Department of Health Services indicates that 27% of COVID-19 cases in Maricopa County have been from Hispanics in the last 6 months. Juana Silva has attended many of the classes. She says knowing how to stay healthy can prevent illnesses such as COVID-19.
How to prevent. If you are the head of the family, bring food into your home. Then your children can prevent diseases by changing their diet and their lifestyle.
In Phoenix, Reina Preciado, Cronkite News.
Unlimited Potential has been providing free 6-week programs to the community since 1985. Their classes include diabetes prevention, heart disease, and cancer.
As we shift our focus to the Arizona legislature, the House is weighing stricter voter ID regulations for in-person and mail voting, while some senators are looking to keep the state bar from disciplining lawyers. First, let's talk about voting bills. A measure that would make state voter ID laws even stronger has been approved by the Arizona House. While Democrats say it's a move towards suppressing the vote, Republicans think election bills like this one prevent fraud and illegal votes. Meanwhile, in the Senate, a bill that would discourage investigating attorneys who are accused of misbehavior or other ethical violations has been approved by Republican senators. This bill would require the state bar to pay attorneys fees if it fails an attempt to discipline a lawyer.
One Arizona representative is in the spotlight for a different matter. That's Republican Paul Gosar, whose response to a bill pledging support for Ukrainians is now raising concern. Representative Gosar was one of 3 Republican House members to reject a bill that would declare American support for Ukraine and call for a ceasefire to the war. Gosar's vote drew criticism from several Congress members, including Illinois House Republican Adam Kinzinger, who called out Gosar and others in a tweet. Gosar responded, "Talk to me when our border is secure." The House approved the resolution with a final vote of 425 to 3.
As the Russian invasion stretches into its second week, government landmarks across the valley are lighting up in blue and yellow, the colors of the Ukrainian flag, to show support. The city of Phoenix, Governor Doug Ducey, and others announced the show of solidarity on Twitter. The Ukrainian flag colors can be seen illuminating the state capitol, Phoenix, and Tempe city halls, and the Gilbert Water Tower. Ducey said in a tweet that the lights at the Capitol are, quote, in honor of the brave people of Ukraine and in support of their unwavering fight for freedom. The cities of Phoenix, Tempe, and Gilbert shared similar messages.
Communities impacted by recent wildfires are soon going to see some relief. We'll talk about new emergency funding geared toward improving recovery efforts and reducing hazardous fuels left behind by wildfires.
Arizonans may see more solar panels in the future.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons. Your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Phoenix police are looking to add over 30 civilian positions despite the severe staffing shortage. The department announced that they would be moving several detectives back into street patrol in order to help with staffing shortages. The department had 274 officers leave in 2021. They are looking for 25 civilian investigator positions and 8 police assistants. While police say they already have budget funding for these positions, they are waiting on the city council to discuss their proposal.
Some good news for the economy. The amount of Americans filing for unemployment fell yet again last week. The Labor Department reported 215,000 jobless claims last week. That's down by 18,000 from the week before. The 4-week average for people filing for unemployment also decreased by 6,000. However, the total amount of people collecting unemployment for the week of February 6th did go up. That number increased by 2,000 from the previous week. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is providing more than $12 million to help Arizona recover from wildfire damage. 2 U.S. senators came forward with the news and say this emergency funding will protect communities and reduce hazardous fuels. Senators Kyrsten Sinema and Mark Kelly announced the incoming emergency funding on Tuesday. It was given the go-ahead by the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Law. Federal, state, and tribal lands will see recovery efforts supported by the funding. The money is aimed at supporting communities impacted by the museum fire that burned in Flagstaff in 2019, as well as Mesa's bushfire that burned in 2020, and the Telegraph fire that happened in Superior in 2021.
State lawmakers in Arizona and solar advocates are calling on the U.S. Senate to pass investments to support solar energy growth in the U.S. and here in Arizona. Cronkite News reporter Autria Maneshny explains how these billions of dollars could make renewable energy more accessible in Arizona.
TAMORA MUIR and her husband have lived in Tucson for more than 14 years, and this year they decided to invest in rooftop solar.
Our decision to install solar was based on 2 things. First, of course, was a desire to do our part to slow climate change. We all know, as has been mentioned, living in the desert, about the heat and the lack of water.
It's costly to install solar. MUIR says the federal and state tax credits influenced her decision to go solar.
We'll be able to break even on the cost of our solar in less than 10 years.
Some state lawmakers and solar advocates hope more people will follow in MUIR's footsteps. That's why they gathered in Senator Mark Kelly's hometown of Tucson last week to urge him and Senator Kyrsten Sinema to support climate investments that were part of President Joe Biden's Build Back Better Act. The act passed the House but has stalled. These investments would be about $550 billion and would grow Arizona's renewable energy sector. For State Representative Daniel Hernandez, he sees that money helping low-income families get access to green energy.
In a state that has more sunshine than almost any other state in the country and almost any other place in the world, it is unconscionable that we are not doing more to invest in ensuring that there is rooftop solar for as many Arizonans as possible.
Investing in solar is also one solution the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change recommends in their recent report.
This is so important for Arizona to fight climate change. It literally means whether we get to stay here.
In Tucson, for example, the days above 105 degrees are increasing. TAMORA MUIR gets this. She says for her, solar will help cut her electricity costs while she does her part to help slow climate change.
We've already waited too long. And every year, the extreme heat and weather cost us even more.
MUIR says the federal tax credit to get solar is a good incentive. And if Congress can get behind climate investments, that could reduce the cost of installing rooftop solar. That's according to the White House. John Mittman with Arizona Solar Energy Industries Association says incentives are only part of the solution. He says what really needs to happen is workforce training to meet the growing demand for clean energy jobs that these investments would bring.
And workforce training takes a long time and a lot of investment. In the absence of the legislation, it's just going to really continue to hamstring us in the future.
For now, MUIR is excited about what rooftop solar will mean. Tucson Electric Power will pay for any excess energy, and when the panels are paid off, she won't have an electric bill. That's money, MUIR says, she plans to use to buy an electric vehicle. In Tucson, Autria Maneshny, Cronkite News.
I'm sure most of you have noticed the warming temperatures lately. Anna Campbell joined us in the Cronkite News Weather Center to tell us more about what to expect these next few days.
If you've been waiting for some rain here in Arizona, you might just be in luck. We're following the storm that's coming in from the west coast and is going to move across the state of Arizona. We might see a little bit more rain in Flagstaff than we will in Phoenix, but we might really see some action. So going into tomorrow, our highs are going to be a little bit lower than what we saw last week. Tomorrow's high in Phoenix is 69 degrees, the high in Flagstaff 39, a little bit chillier up in the upper part of the state, and then 71 degrees in Tucson. The southern part is going to miss a lot of that storm, so that it may not be as chilly. Here in Phoenix, though, we're sitting at 84 degrees at 6 p.m. And as those clouds start to come in, we're going to see those temperatures start to drop. At 10 p.m., we're going to be at 73 degrees, and it's going to be pretty cloudy. That cloud cover is going to continue into the weekend. So Friday, we're looking at a 20% chance of rain, Saturday, 10% chance, and Sunday, things are going to start to clear up. So as we're moving into Monday, Tuesday, things are going to be really nice. We're sitting around 70 degrees, but as we get to the end of the week, you might see some cloud cover, but no rain. It's going to be nice 74, 75 degree temperatures, right where we like it. From the Cronkite News Weather Center, I'm Anna Campbell.
I'm Benjamin Garcia, and coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. Everyone knows the effect that the MLB lockout has on the teams and fans, but it's also impacting those that work at the stadiums. We'll explain more after the break.
Your favorite member benefit is getting better and bigger.
This is wonderful.
Over the next year, Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream.
They give us all that they've got.
From your favorite cooking and travel series.
Even the stairs are breathtaking.
To history specials and award-winning documentaries. Better and bigger.
That really is the fun part.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication's Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Benjamin Garcia, and this is your Cronkite Sports Report. The Pac-12 women's tournament is underway in Las Vegas. However, it was a short trip for Arizona State as they fell to Oregon State in the first round yesterday. Cronkite News reporter Brianna Isbell has more from Las Vegas on what could be the team's last game of the season.
Just like that, the Sun Devils are out of the Pac-12 tournament. In her 25th anniversary year, head coach Charlie Turner-Thorne watched the potential of a Pac-12 championship come and go, saying they just didn't make their shots.
It's just, basketball's rhythm and its rituals and routines, and we didn't really have that. All the things that we normally do to prepare and add wrinkles and, develop players, because we're really good at developing our players. I don't feel we really got to do that this year, like the way we normally do, and it hurt us.
Despite guard JADE LOVILLE, who typically has no problem putting up numbers on the board, she too struggled alongside her teammates, starting off 0 for 14 from the field and finally making that first bucket in the third quarter.
I knew that my coaches still believed in me, my teammates still believed in me, and so I still wanted to take those shots and still shoot them confidently. Shooters still got to keep shooting, and I did what I could.
I love the way we fought today and put ourselves right back in a position to win. And we almost made some plays, and that was kind of the story at the end of our year, almost. But I really appreciate this team and all that they gave us, and they have a lot of good lessons learned.
Although the Sun Devils cut a 17-point deficit down to 2 in the final moments of the game, it wasn't enough. There was no question that the women left their hearts on the court in mounting a comeback. But their time in the Pac-12 tournament was cut short. In Las Vegas, Brianna Isbell, Cronkite News.
The number 2 ranked Arizona Wildcats take on Stanford tonight at 7 at McHale Center. This will be their second contest of the season, where Arizona won the previous meeting by 28 in January. The Wildcats are undefeated in Tucson this season, holding a record of 15-0 at home. Arizona clinched their 16th regular season Pac-12 title after defeating the 16th ranked USC Trojans on Tuesday. They now look to secure a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament with their 2 remaining home games. While Los Angeles and Arizona are typically National League West rivals, the two are now on the same side of baseball's current fight, the 2022 MLB lockout. And as Cronkite News reporter Joey Vaca reports from our Los Angeles bureau, the multi-million-dollar face-off for a new CBA is affecting more than just the players and owners.
Since 1962, thousands of everyday people have worked to make games at Dodger Stadium run smoothly. But as the 2022 lockout looms, concession staffer Sylvia Sosa faces a season of uncertainty.
You know, my concern was for also other employees, you know, who depend on this income. But once again, you can't get what you need unless you're willing to fight.
They aren't at the negotiating table, but stadium workers at every ballpark are being affected. And while canceled games mean missing work, they're willing to sacrifice to lend their support.
I mean, we stand in solidarity with the players. I mean, they're workers just like we're workers. So, yeah, we know that we're not going to be able to work, but we've had our fights here. Now they have their fight, and we stand behind them.
The reach of the lockout doesn't just stop at the stadium gates. Just down the street from Dodger Stadium, Philippe the Original has been serving its famous French dip sandwiches to baseball fans for decades.
And all the businesses that kind of get their seasonal business, they really want games to start as soon as possible.
But while Binder may feel the impact from the LA Dodgers, he knows many others across the country feel the same thing.
So just the effect that it has throughout, you know, from the players and all the way down just to the small little bars and businesses like around the area, like it touches kind of everyone.
For now, Manfred has already confirmed the cancellation of the first 2 regular season series. But while players and owners still struggle to reach an agreement, the people of LA, Phoenix, and the 28 other baseball cities across the country can only hope that number doesn't crawl too much higher. In Los Angeles, Joey Vaca, Cronkite News.
During a battle of the short-handed, the Phoenix Suns defeated the Portland Trailblazers last night, 120-90. With Devin Booker and Chris Paul out, Cam Payne made his return from injury. With 6 players scoring in double digits, head coach Monty Williams praised their team's ability to play as a team without their star players.
You know, that kind of scoring it brings a lot of juice to the team. It's not that, you know, we don't appreciate what Chris and Book bring, but when those guys are out, we need everybody to, in some way, raise their level.
As the Suns celebrated their 50th win last night, they also celebrated play-by-play announcer and Suns legend Al McCoy, 50th season as the Suns' voice. McCoy, who began announcing for the Suns in September of 1972, is currently the longest tenured broadcaster for an NBA team. That's all for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Raven.
Coming up, an intergalactic showdown caught on camera. What happens when galaxies collide when we come back?
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
nature, and nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
NASA captured a brawl in the skies recently. The agency recently reported that two deep space galaxies collided with one another, leading to the birth of new stars and a massive exchange of gases between the two. The galaxies NGC 2444 and NGC 2445 were seen colliding and passing through each other by the Hubble Space Telescope. NASA scientists believe 2444 on the left is coming out on top, its massive gravitational pull extracting gases from 2445. 2444 has not come away the same, however, having been stretched into an interesting shape. The colorful triangle seen here between the two is a gaseous breeding ground for new stars, according to NASA.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.